Come, little children, I'll take thee away. I put a spell on you, and it was strong, so strong, so strong, so strong. Into a land of enchantment. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. If you don't believe, you better get superstitious. Hello, and welcome back to Mr. Larry's Spooky Craft Show. I couldn't be spooky if I tried, let's be honest. It is Halloween, and I am currently dressed as Maurice Sanderson of the famous Sanderson trio from Hocus Pocus. Get it? So I just thought of like Mary Sanderson as a male, like chemist, sort of steampunky guy. He's in the room with the cauldron and he's like putting ingredients in there and sniffing out children and stuff, and it's just, you know, I don't know. There we go. I love Hocus Pocus like a lot of you, so this was my costume for last year. I didn't really go out or do anything. This year, obviously, we can't really do that either. Let me know what you think of the costume in the comments and show me what you made for this year or what you bought or found. It doesn't really matter. I just want to see how creative you guys were. I know that most of us are staying home because it's safer, or we're gathering with small groups of friends and family to try and celebrate the holiday. I appreciate you guys doing that. It really is so important that we continue to stay safe and social distance and take all the precautions that are necessary to help us get through this pandemic. Halloween, however, is a time of celebration. You can celebrate whatever you want at this time. I celebrate the joy and fun of putting on a costume and eating candy, all the spooky dooky ooky things of life that are fun and exciting and a little scary sometimes. Today our project is in the kitchen, obviously. I've tried to turn it into my cauldron room. I assure you though that no children will be harmed in the making of this episode. Probably. I hope to demystify baking for you guys a little bit more this time through a small project that will have big taste and big impact at your little gathering, or maybe on your sofa alone as you binge some scary show like Evil or Ratchet. Oh, both of those shows are so good. We'll be exploring mini apple pies made in little muffin tins. They're the perfect size to eat alone or to share if you're feeling like being nice on Halloween. I don't know why you would, it's Halloween! But before we get into the project, Winnie, I smell children. I'll give you guys 3 things that'll help us get started and give us a little bit of background into what we're doing today, and hopefully shed some light on why we love a good apple pie. So if you need to start with a calming circle, please begin now. Thing number 1. Around these parts of the hemisphere, we start to see the leaves change color, the Ugg boots come up out the box or wherever they come from, no shade, and thousands of people turn to their favorite fall time snacks like pumpkin spice everything, no shade, Halloween candy. Oh, well, I don't taste any musketeers in there. And warm, sweet confections like pie. Pie is a concept originated in Greece. Ancient Greeks would combine Ancient Greeks would combine fat, water, and flour to produce an early prototype of pastry. They would use this to cover meat and fowl and then bake it, thus keeping in the juices. However, around this point, that crispy outer crust wasn't intended to be eaten, which is a shame because crust is the best part of pie. It's just so good. It's just like, when you hit that crunch. Over time, many cultures around the world developed their own local variations of pie. Sweet pies, savory pies, seafood pies, ugh. And of course, apple pie. Which brings us to thing number 3. Hocus Pocus is just as much an American staple as apple pie these days. But why do we love that dessert so much? The truth is that everyone loves apple pie. I mean, not just people in the United States, but all around the world, there are variations of confections made with apples and pastry, and a lot of those have made their way to the United States. During World War II, it became commonplace for young soldiers to say that they were off to war for mom and apple pie. And I guess that phrase just kind of stuck. When you take into account the fact that the United States is this melting pot of many different cultures, all bringing in their own ideas about what apple pie can be, because we all love that combination so much, and it just makes sense. I'm tired of talking about pie. Why don't we make some? Let's get started on our own variation of apple pie today. I'll give you a list of ingredients and then we'll get started putting it all together. You'll need 2 packages of pre-made pie crust, or if you're feeling adventurous, you could make your own crust from scratch. You'll also need about 2.5 cups of peeled, chopped apples. I recommend Golden Delicious apples because that's what my local grocery store recommends as the best option for baked apples. You'll need 1 tablespoon of vanilla paste or vanilla extract if you prefer. Vanilla paste is a bit richer and has more of a potent flavor, so I like to use that. You'll need 1 teaspoon of pumpkin spice, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. I know it sounds like a lot, but we're going places here. A 1/2 teaspoon of ground ginger, a 1/2 teaspoon of orange peel, 1/4 cup of granulated sugar, 2 teaspoons of all-purpose flour, and a little bit of extra flour for rolling out our pie crust. You'll preheat your oven to 425 degrees. We'll start by cutting out circles of dough to put into our muffin tin. The circle should be somewhere between 3.5 and 4 inches in diameter, which will allow them to cup into the muffin tins and create our bottom crust. Once you have your bottom crust prepared, you'll set this in the fridge for a few moments, and then we'll prepare our filling. Our filling is very simple. We just combine all of these ingredients together, give them a good stir, and then it's ready to go. Our filling will cook with the crust in the oven, so we don't have to pre-cook this like some pies require. This is the tricky part. We'll be making a lattice top for each of our pies, and it really just takes a little bit of patience. We're gonna cut our remaining dough into 1/2-inch strips or so, and you'll just need 4 of these per pie. Cut them to fit across the top of the whole pie, and then you'll just lift them up and weave them together so that you get that lovely classic apple pie lattice crust. Pinch these around the edges to make sure that they're adhered to the bottom crust. Once your pies are ready to go, pop them into the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes or until the tops are golden brown and they look ready to eat. And let them cool for about 10 minutes and then remove them carefully from the muffin tin and then let them continue to cool on a wire rack for another few minutes. Woo! And there we have our finished project. These little cute mini apple pies that taste amazing. They taste much better than they look. I think that with a little bit more patience and paying a little bit closer attention to the dough and especially putting the top on and making sure that it's connected to the sides will ensure that your pies look even nicer than this one does, which really isn't gonna be that hard to do. Them some good apples. I don't think I should eat all of these myself, but I might. It's just great. The flavor of the apples, the moisture of the interior, it's all just a really good ratio. Let me know how yours come out. If you try this recipe, if you make some additions to it or some variations on it, let me know if yours come out better than mine, because that'd be Very good to see, and I'd love to try your tips and tricks. I hope that you have a wonderful and safe Halloween and that you are surrounded by friends and family, or at least surrounded by some candy tonight. I will see you all next week. Goodbye.